Hello everyone, Galidorn back again, playing Raid Shadow Legends. Alright, so it is the start of the Jeroboam fusion.
Nobody cares! Nobody cares!
Kicking off with the Champion Training Tournament and the Dragon Tournament. And interesting enough, in case you didn't know, Jeroboam is actually a biblical name.
There will be a magic show at 0930.
Because I was searching for him, and that's what came up. He was a northern king of Israel, so a little bit of a history lesson there for you. So even though it is the Jeroboam fusion beginning, I'm going to hark back into the Feyhammer Titan event, because it is still going on, actually. Because Raid actually did something, I don't know, I guess to make up for all the stuff that they were doing. It would have had been planned beforehand, so I guess they kind of knew that it would tick people off some of the things that they did during the Thor activities. And that was throw 100 of the hammer points into the fusion warm-up. Now this is something I know that has not happened before, so this may signal a new direction by Plarium to start melding events together. Now, I don't know if this is just a one-off with Thor, but as you remember, the final extra summon rush of the Thor fusion had the hammer points for the Titan event. And now the fusion warm-up for Jeroboam has 100 hammer points for the Thor soul.
And
that is going to give me these 200 Eternal Soul coins. As I've said before, I didn't anticipate getting the 1,500 points needed for the 5-star Thor soul. And I have to admit, that's mostly my fault for not managing shards properly during the lead up to and throughout the whole Thor event, both the Fusion and the Titan event. And if you watch back through my videos, you'll see exactly why. If I had managed my shards better and had stuck to my philosophy that I'm always preaching about as casual free-to-play, I would have been able to get the 5-star soul. But however, I frittered away a lot of my shards wastefully.
Redundant.
And therefore that robbed me of attaining this final goal here. Made a lot of mistakes, and I've learned my lesson.
Who gives a shit?
Hopefully if you watch my videos, you'll learn by my mistakes, and we'll all get back to proper shard management.
that would be great. Okay.
Also, though it is the chase for Jeroboam, I am not doing anything in this fusion to get Jeroboam.
Fuck him!
I'm considering this my fusion for Highmother mod. I am sitting at 91 fragments. And if we look at the breakdown, there's a potential of getting 3 fragments per chest. So if I'm extremely lucky, if I got 3 chests with 3 fragments, I'd have her.
I don't think so.
So we look at the breakdown here. 1 legendary fragment equals 1 exchange point, and you need 5 exchange points for 1 chest.
Welcome to the Mr. Obvious Show.
So since I'm going to be staying away from any kind of shard event during this, I'm thinking I can get at least probably 60.
It's at least 40.
I think, fragments for Jeroboam, which would give me 8 chests. So I think that's a reasonable goal to try to achieve during this fusion as a minimum, because let's look at the schedule. We're seeing here that there are actually 130 fragments available. For me, I'm going to look at that as 110, because as you can see here, tournament leaderboard as 20. Not going to consider that is an option. Again, if I can, sure, why not? However, I definitely will not be planning on being able to finish in a top position for any tournament. Galidorn.
Sucks. It really, really sucks.
So as we can see here, that leaves us with the 110, of which 20 is coming from the Hero's Path. Alright, so it's one of those where you have to be able to compete somewhat in the Hero's Path to get any fragments.
This is absolutely ridiculous!
With the remaining 90 coming from tournaments and events. So with the path, I think that I would be able to get maybe half of those. Of course, we don't know what the exact breakdown is. We never know in the various tournaments. So if I figure that I'm going to get 10 from the Hero's Path, should be reasonable. Then that means getting another 50 at a minimum from the tournaments and events. As I say, that's as a minimum. I think that I can probably push up a bit higher than that. I think getting 80 fragments for 16 chests would actually pretty much guarantee getting my mod. So 60 is the minimum, 80 is, I wouldn't call it the maximum, but it's the optimum. So that's what we'll be going for. So going back into the game, with the 2 tournaments kicking it off, we're obtaining 5 fragments in the Dragon Tournament. Shouldn't be that much of a problem. Yes, it's going to cost energy, it's going to cost multi-battles. I do believe I have enough resources prepared for the tournaments with gems and multi-battles and energy saved to get myself through this. Into champ training. Not sure if I'll have the champ training resources willing to commit to get all the 10 fragments here. I certainly have enough brews. Or the question is, of course, the chickens. I use quite a lot of my 5-star chickens in the Thor Activities. I do have some champs I think that I'm going to be focusing on to rank them up and level them up to full. One of them is Blizzard, the other one is Varl. See if I can get some damage in Hydra. Also Loki. Don't really have any kind of idea what I'm going to do with him. Again, maybe Hydra. With those 3 champs, I'm looking to, max out. So the push will be for the lower 5 fragments, and if I can get to the second 5 fragments, that'd be great. However, as I said, 80 is the optimal, 60 is the minimal for fragments. Dungeon Divers event is coming up, so that's where I'm going to be doing the majority of my dragon farming. I've just started now just to get some traction before I actually really get into it hard. So that's my approach to this fusion.
Kiss my Irish ass!
It will be shard building, back, so rebuilding, and everything I do in this fusion is not going to be to overtax the account, but to do things that are beneficial and pursue fragments to get mod. And hopefully I'll be able to pull mod sometime after the fusion, because as we all know, Plarium makes us wait for seems like quite a long time before they make those fragments available, which
Fucking bullshit!
I think is silly. I think you should be able to cash them in as soon as the fusion schedule is finished. But however, that's how they want to do it. So anyway, guys, I hope that if you want to do the fusion for Jeroboam, you still have enough resources to do so after the grueling Thor fusion and Titan event. If you're not doing the fusion, which a lot of people are not, from just looking at the comments and various other videos, a lot of people are not doing this one. I hope that you're close enough to mod to be able to make this her fusion, like I am. And if you're not doing either of those things, I hope that you will, still be enjoying the game, rebuilding your accounts back to prepare for the future. I hope things are going well for you outside of the game. I hope you are feeling good about life. And as always, guys, thanks for watching.